with my phone.
Oh,
You can be my big toe.
and we're live.
Exactly. We're live just as a big toe comes onto the screen.
Nice.
That's his new superhero name.
A
It's
big-
big
We're
toe.
not. It's
A big-
not that kind of game, guys.
A big chocolate toe with one of those toenails kind of going off in one weird
Okay.
direction.
Hold on a second. Let me get.
Jerome, you took it and you made it weird.
Oh!
Oh no.
That's the big toe.
Well, you missed the whole conversation about the red dot
Oh yeah.
and Wendy's D&D.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I was clearly working on other things. I had
Yeah.
questions about Dr. Pepper.
Oh right.
So, before we begin, I don't know why I didn't think of this. Again, Space Cadet, as I warned in the Vampire game. But last Vampire game was our 5th year anniversary for Vampire. However, this not being Vampire, as of this month, our Modern Age Heroes game has been around for 3 years now.
Wow, good job, guys.
So, in addition to rolling for Karma, we're going to roll again for Anniversary Karma. So, if somebody
I
would
ain't
like to
doing
do
it
that,
tonight. I suck.
Not it.
Yeah, not it.
All right, I will try.
Yeah, you did last night and you
Yay.
suck too.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. Okay.
All right.
Dale,
I'll do it. Here we go.
I have no idea how to do it.
Well, we're just rolling
1d10.
at least 1d10.
Yep,
Yeah.
1d10 times 50.
Bam.
3.
3. Oh boy. Okay.
Oh,
so-
Dice Roller hates us this month.
At least
Yeah.
it wasn't me.
Okay. I'll let me. What's the anniversary? Is it the same thing?
Yeah, same thing.
R 1d10
+3.
plus 3.
Oh.
Oh, you tricked me.
No.
You tricked me. 5.
Okay.
Not bad.
+3. This is the third gen.
Okay, so then that's both times 50. So then 850. So that's 400. And we're doing that like multiplied by the 6 heroes in the team?
Yep.
Okay.
For the Karma pool.
Good. Okay.
Because that's what everybody would get.
right.
Put it in the bank.
Okay,
Put it in the
so
bank.
How much do we have for our
8.
play karma?
Let me see here. Calculating that. Okay, 8 times 50.
Dale's over here
400.
reticulating the splines.
Yeah, SimCity reference.
Oops.
He's got his abacus out.
I used to know how to use those, but I forget now. Okay, let's see.
It looks like it would be like I would love to have one of those and just be like, hold on, let me tabulate this check.
Like what? Let's see. Okay, so what we just earned from that was 2,400 added to, let's see here. We have 400 available karma, so we'll pump 100 into that.
Who's next on the shopping list?
And it's actually George, and that means George is going to have 2,395 banked karma to use.
Cool. Someone's gonna have to show me how to do it because I've never done that before.
Yeah,
At least
I can.
he's got a.
Yeah,
least he's got a fighting
great
chance
at
now.
helping.
Yeah, I can.
Instead
I
of-
can.
Giving him like 800.
That's who I go
Right.
to. Dale does
Yeah.
my shopping too.
Yeah, I'll definitely help you with that.
Yeah, Dale helped me too with.
He's our personal shopper.
He's
Yeah.
your Karma Instacart.
Yes.
He
Yeah.
is.
I need to get a physical copy of this rule book because it would be easier for me to read it that way.
I don't think those exist anymore.
They do. You'd have to get it off of eBay.
eBay.
Oh
saw-
wow!
And they are very expensive.
I
Yeah.
saw one at Second and Charles like once for like $20, and I was like, "Oh, I should get this." Nah, and then I just didn't.
Shoot.
But obviously the PDFs are all out there. Everything's available. So,
Mhm.
You can definitely take it there.
Okay.
The one you would be looking for specifically for the rule set is the Marvel Superheroes Advanced Box Set, which has the
Yeah, the one
Advanced
that-
Player's Guide and the Judge's Guide.
Ooh.
Now I'm wondering if I have the right book. I have the Marvel Superheroes Players book.
Does it have a blue cover, bluish black cover with a bunch of heroes running out at you?
Yeah, Captain America in the center.
Yep, that's the right
Yeah.
one.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'll have to hunt more for it.
So does
Just take it to Kinko's.
I mean, there's that. There are
Good.
people now that will. You can do it online. I know of people. Kudos to the Brazilians. Those guys are balls to the wall with just about everything. Like they have not only single-handedly kept the Street Fighter RPG alive as far as like a fan base is concerned. They go out and print them hardback. There's like, meh. No one's going to come to us. We'll just so I'm looking at all these like glorious looking hardback books that have great spines, and I'm like, oh, you guys suck.
Are they all in Portuguese or are they actually in English?
No, they're in Portuguese.
course.
Unfortunately,
I was gonna say my brother is literally on his way to Brazil right now. Like,
I'll
you can have him
have-
look for one, and then I thought, oh, probably be Portuguese.
Right.
yeah. But the fact that they took the English, put the effort in to translate everything over to Portuguese, then turn around, founded their own fan magazine, which has still been going to this day from the mid '90s. And they
Wow.
they produce stuff. Then they turned around, and when like self-publishing, the binding came out, there's like, hey, we'll do that too. And now they freely advertise it in their Facebook groups. Like, yeah, check this out. And it's like this glorious looking book, and I'm like drooling.
Nice.
I just don't speak Portuguese. Anyways, so back to game. Has somebody decided who is taking the notes tonight? And last person who took the notes, obviously, would do our recap.
I can do the notes just because I've never done it before.
Okay, that'll work.
Who took
Let's
notes
see.
last time?
I believe Dale
Dale.
did.
That was actually me, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, that was season 4, episode 2, Turning the Corner. Let's see. So, the Legacy, were watching after Red Arsenal after his surgery to get himself repaired and his new cyber arm. Lightbringer was noticing he was stable. We saw through his medical records that he has the regeneration power, and he has a powerful psychic potential, rating at 6.5 out of 10. Lightbringer talked to her PR agent, but then decided that she's going to eventually deliver Lightbringer merchandise to that Mr. Agadati in Moldova that she had promised a while back. Let's see, Hyperion was checking on Red Arsenal, who woke up. They had a talk. He introduced himself and went back to bed so that he could sleep off the other anesthesia and whatnot. Then Hyperion managed to talk to, let's see here, Psych Out, and then get in contact with the Cynet Core, and then through them got in touch with the Science and Technology lady there. That was what was her name? Ms. Worthington, in order to negotiate for information technology, primarily getting psionic technology information, and in return, he's going to let them actually study one of the locator satellites that we recently purloined from the Russians. Let's see here. Pulsar and the Southwest All-Stars back at Strongford cleaned up the fight they had with the recorders, talked amongst themselves. Pulsar learned about Southwest All-Stars, what they've been doing for a while, learned about a place called Olson's, which is where SPBs hang out, apparently, secretly, to rest and talk about stuff. Then they took off, and Compass told Pulsar that the recorders were remnants of the Dexamite Empire, Didn't know why they're being reactivated right now, but it'd be a good idea to go to Quantum Unlimited to get their technology to help with analyzing a piece of a recorder that Pulsar managed to rip off of one of them. So he went, talked to people at the building, who then contacted Mark, who is still with everyone in New Prussia, went ahead and got teleported with Schoen to the Quantum Unlimited building so that Mark and Pulsar could have a chat. Pulsar figured out secretly that Mark isn't human, but made sure that they were in a conference room first before he let him know that he was aware. It was a little touch and go at first, but Pulsar was willing to give Mark the piece of the recorder so that they could actually study it. And they're going to have a meeting again tomorrow at that building at 8 a.m. Then Pulsar took off. Mark and Schoen went back to New Prussia, where we all then went and talked to Red Arsenal, explained to him about his Dexamite Alinor genetics. We learned a little bit about him. And then he got the clean bill of health. We all got up, got into Ixion's ship, and started heading back to the Vein. There you go.
Oh, so it has been, we'll say, about 3 days from the events of last game at this point. So everybody has had a chance to decompress, relax a little bit, get used to new parts, as it were. Dale, did you want to go ahead and make your roll?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, did you have your date yet?
Slash. I don't think so.
That is coming.
Oh. Let's see. Oops. It's supposed to be incredible.
If it's been
Ooh.
3 days, can we say that Carmen and Schoen zipped over to Moldova to hand over those
Yes,
that merchandise?
Mhm.
Okay.
100%.
Yeah, and Sean would have checked on Mr. Muscles too.
Megalith.
Yes.
Yep, Megalith.
So Yellow Feet.
Her
Okay.
honey.
So that obviously is not enough for your power stunt. But new rule that I'm going to be instituting in the game. This is only for the first level of the power stunt. The rule booklet itself doesn't indicate anything that there's like a number of times that you can try and then you just don't get that power stunt. You can technically keep trying until eventually you get there. Problem with that is it could eventually mean you're stuck for months on end without getting anywhere with the initial power stunt. So the new rule that we're doing, you still have to, everything applies the same. So you still have to spend the 100 karma to start it. That does get refunded if for some reason it doesn't work. But by the 4th attempt, if for some reason it hasn't gone through, then it automatically goes through.
Ooh, nice.
That way it helps with some growth and you don't get stalled at the very beginning trying to make a roll that, could arguably be very difficult to make. You still have to make everything else thereafter. So that is still a all that still changes. This is just to help get you past that initial hump.
That's just that first red.
Just
result
that first
needed,
red,
right?
yes.
Right.
Okay.
Sweet.
Then once you either have to succeed on 1, 2, 3, or automatically on 4, and then 3
Well, if you
yellow,
don't succeed on the
3
4th, one way or the other,
Right.
you're succeeding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Cool. All right.
So, because I was working on the multiple attacks, and I finally got my red, but now I have to do the roll after the red because I haven't done that.
Correct. This
Okay.
is only for the very first level of the power stunt.
Okay,
When you're developing a power stunt, you have to get that red result.
right, because
And
I
it's been
finally
that
got it after 3 months.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. So in this case, this doesn't apply to you. Everything else thereafter is the same.
So now, what do I need to roll to continue with that?
It's like 3 or 4 yellow results, I think.
Okay. I
3
would,
yellow, 3 green. I had it written down.
Cool, thank you.
I would like to roll if
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah.
I'd like to roll for mine too. I keep
A
forgetting to
$2
roll.
bill.
It's been
Rare.
years.
Nice.
I know. That's why I'm asking because I can't remember what the hell
I
we
have,
were
like,
doing.
$50 worth or something like that. I don't know.
So, what am I rolling? I mean, because I just got the red. So what am I rolling? Is it going to be like?
You're still rolling that power that the stunt is attributed to, but now you're looking for yellow results at least.
So
Yep.
I rolled the IN40.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, and one more thing. This is just game errata in general. Not necessarily going to affect anybody in game, I don't think. Some of the charts to the Ultimate Powers Guide, the book that we use for the powers and whatnot, they're way off base by comparison. So, like, one of the things Dale looked up is like, oh, well, hey, if I got telepathy of TY6, looks like it would take me all around the United States or something to that effect. And I'm like,
It was pretty.
I'm like, no.
crazy.
We're not doing that. That's not a typical telepathy.
Right.
That sort of thing is that would be like Professor Xavier level telepathy, not typical.
Yeah. Okay, I got a green, so didn't get it this
Okay,
time.
so didn't get it.
Well, considering even Xavier needs Cerebro to go that far.
Right. But
Yeah.
the point being is that I think that they were, with some of the tables, I think they were trying to make it DC level superheroes as opposed to actual Marvel level superheroes. Like,
Yeah.
so that's why, like, if you have like an amazing level telepathy, yeah, you've got a good range, right? If you have a typical level telepathy, for example, you could probably talk to anybody, in your house and maybe your neighbor's house,
Yeah. Right.
with your head. It's not that far.
Yeah.
It should be tied directly to your power rank, and some of the radius or ranges or whatnot, I think, are pretty skewed. So if you
Yeah.
have any questions about it, I'm not obviously going to go through it, bit by bit, because I don't know what all powers you guys might have questions about. But if the range or any sort of factor like that comes up, we'll look it up and then we'll discuss it. And if I think it's like grossly inaccurate, obviously primarily for like the lower levels, then we'll figure something out.
So is that going to affect my teleportation?
No.
Okay.
Isn't your
I-
teleportation like ungodly or something?
So I can still teleport to the moon and back. Perfect.
Okay.
I'm working for Jupiter.
In which only 2 of us would be able to survive.
Yeah.
Right.
She's like, bamf, drops me and Dale off. Bamf. And then I'm like, pick me up in a few minutes.
You're
because I won't
assuming
last
she
long.
would get the second BAMF.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I don't implode.
Right.
Mhm.
Make that endurance roll.
Yeah.
At a shift 0.
And it has to be exactly 100.
Yeah. It's like, oh no.
So, I will let everybody decide where exactly everybody is currently, since there's been a couple days lapse.
I think Sean would be hanging out with Megalith.
Okay, so she's out of town.
She'd be making up for lost time.
Okay. Well, I will have to get to that later, but you have a successful morning with him,
Cool beans.
which comprises of a lot of McDonald's.
Let's go. Hotcakes and bacon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hash browns.
Hash browns. I think Red Arsenal will be at the vein, and he will be working out and stuff.
Getting used to his body? Sure.
Getting used to the new arm, trying to like
Absolutely makes sense.
balance himself out.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Lightbringer. And she has a mouthful.
Oh, 3 days. Put me on the spot.
I know, huh?
The spot, the cool spot.
The red spot.
You know, she's probably neck deep in research for, you know, compiling white papers on the stuff that they've been working on for the
Okay.
last little while.
Yeah.
So she's probably mainlining coffee and writing papers.
At home.
Let's see. You know, she's probably more likely, like, she doesn't have any like materials at home.
Right.
So either at Quantum or at the Vein.
Okay. I'll let you choose.
Hyperion would suggest Quantum because that way, like, all of the work that you're doing, like, counts in your civilian life, you know, and that would be good for you ultimately.
Yeah, let's do that.
Putting in
So she'll be at the office.
FaceTime at the office. Sure.
Fake
Okay.
time at the office.
FaceTime.
FaceTime. Fake. I mean, it is kind of fake
Kinda.
time for us at the office.
I mean, all the stuff that she's doing is kind of technicalities.
Right.
The real work was already finished.
Xenofreeze.
He is currently continuing to experiment on. Got 3 different experiments going on right now. One with the mutated gene from Lightbringer and I, from
Okay.
our exposure to the radiation that way. I am looking at trying to delve more into the adaptability of the Dexamite genetics with other genetics,
Okay.
with samples from all of us, provided the only one that I wouldn't have samples from, I believe, would be.
I don't think you've gotten anything from Red Arsenal yet.
No, I have not gotten anything from Red Arsenal. So provided that he would be willing to give me a DNA sample.
Blood sample? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but since we're all descendants, it's like just I'm trying to derive what is making us tick that
Okay.
way. And then last but not least, I've obviously, you know, with experimentation, it's like, okay, I'm going to try to do this. Okay. And while I'm doing that, I'm trying to see what I might be doing, some danger room stuff potentially, and then also trying to actively manipulate my body with the nanotech.
Sure.
To see what, I mean, aside from the digital-esque appearance rather than my smooth mercury, I'm trying to manipulate them and manipulate my
get
body
adjusted to
and-
the new you.
Yeah.
right, and be able to actually phase again
Sure.
and do that
Mhm.
sort of stuff. So that way, you know, like all of a sudden, you know, like my hand just, you know, kind of thing.
Right, right.
How was that again?
Yeah.
Oh, can you spell that for me?
Oh no!
Yeah.
She's taking the notes.
It's BRRLLPRQ.
Okay, cool, got it.
And then button mash.
Just do like BLR.
Okay, so Derek, for the first one, give me a reason, and I believe you have biology, correct?
I have yes, I do have biology. Biology genetics. Yes.
Correct. Go ahead and roll that.
Well, I have. What is that? So
it's going to bump your reason by 1 column shift.
RM30, so that's going to put it at a
IN40.
IN40. So
Not to be confused with UB40.
Yes.
Oh.
If you insert red wine in this experiment, you're probably going to fail hard.
I know, right?
Now that song's gonna play in my head. Thanks, guys.
Oh,
Wow.
What happened?
99.
What happened?
Red feet.
99.
99.
Wow.
Sweet.
Okay.
I'm
I
like,
think
Well done.
I think that was a success.
Yeah, I
The-
think.
You got some result.
everything.
success.
I did something right this time. I did a lot of things right this time. I'm like, I'm on fire.
Sweet.
All right.
Hopefully
So
not
the
literally.
first
I'm-
one
I'm-
you were attempting to analyze it was the radiation on your biology and Carmen's, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you've had a breakthrough at this point. You've isolated specifically what changed.
Okay.
But in order to proceed forward, it's like you have half the puzzle right now. It's like you've assembled half of the picture, and if you were to get your hands on whatever that device was that was putting forth that field, and you could recreate that radiation and at that spectrum, you could probably solve for it, or at least get the complete answer.
Awesome.
Go ahead and roll again for your second question. And this will be with your biology, but it's up 2 column shifts due to your breakthrough that you just recently had.
Nice.
It's only for today, but it's up 2
And
column
this is
shifts.
all. This is also our. This is my reason.
Yeah, so it would be your reason, which is an RM30, up 2 column shifts, puts you at AM50.
Sweet.
Watch him get a white result.
Green.
Okay. It's like, oh no.
Right.
Okay, so with this, now that you've had a much stronger breakthrough with the genetic structure, at least as far as isolating the dexamite gene, but we'll put it that way, in relation to like what has happened, looking over the genetic analysis that you have of everyone else, you not only notice that the gene itself is self-adapting, you also notice a marker in the gene, like an actual marker, not like like what a code would look like, and if there was an error or whatnot, but like somebody's stamp, effectively.
He was like some sort of what would the word be?
So it is engineered.
Engineered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a serial number.
Yeah. Interesting.
Okay.
And from what you can tell, it looks like this the coding itself actually propagates that marker.
Okay.
The coding of the. You mean so that coding or stamp, genetic stamp, it propagates itself?
Yes.
You mean?
It yeah. Once it successfully binds, it actually stamps it, almost as if it's indicating success.
Yeah.
And the other thing that you're able to note, you don't know fully like what it all means, other than, okay, Eureka, I clearly found something. It is different slightly, but it is different for you as it is for anybody who is human, as well as anybody who is Alinar, as well as anybody who is Heliopolis. There is a slight variation for each one.
Got it.
So our Dexamite genetics are individually different.
Correct.
We're talking
like
DNA
minutia.
chain.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking like the whole DNA chain is identical. This marker is different from one of us to the next to the next.
Right. We're talking like the difference in a barcode sort of
Right.
thing. Like it's a very minuscule difference, but whatever minuscule difference that is what seems to drive the connection to each of the others.
Right. And probably allows the genetic meshing of
Correct.
the two species.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's that quality.
Ooh. Okay. And then the third thing, me manipulating myself.
You're doing just fine. It's
Okay.
it's like getting a stretch for the first time in a week. So
Right.
it's alien to you because you're used to being stuck in that form. But within the first day and a half or so, you're getting your movements and getting back to the old groove. The difference, of course, is that you're not used to feeling separate but together, which the nanites kind of give you that feeling, almost as if like you're a bunch of different individuals in one, even though you're all one. It's not like something's
Right.
going to break off of you and pull a venom or something like that.
Right.
It's almost as if like there's somebody else in your head, but not quite schizophrenic. It's just a little different is all. One thing
So-
you do notice, however, in the danger room,
Mhm.
as you're testing yourself and whatnot, you accidentally bump it up to a different threat level and get hit with electricity and get knocked out for about an hour and a half.
Uh-oh.
Vulnerability.
And I didn't do it.
Right.
Amazingly.
I was not there, so I couldn't have done it.
Yep. See, like from
And-
miles away, you hear, "That's not me."
Yep. Exactly.
Get KO'd for about an hour and a half, you said?
Yeah. Now, that is something that you have not felt. Clearly, you are immune to the, like, what you discovered before, the inhibitor sensors. So now, once you finally start literally pulling yourself back together, you're like, I wonder if those technology nullifiers now work on me, because that hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Right. So I would be susceptible to the things that Dale would be, or Hyperion would be susceptible to.
Presumably, yes. Like an EMP is something you're really gonna have to watch for.
Ooh, that could potentially be fatal at this stance of mine because of the way that the nanites are
Correct.
compensating for that way that stupid ray hit me.
Correct.
Do I still have, so like I know it hurts, but during that time I wanted to see, like, does my body, like, I would literally, like, and I mean, yeah, it would hurt, but I've got the endurance to work, not to worry about it, right? But like if I would have gotten, like, say, my arm cut off, I would sustain damage, but I would be able to essentially heal by grafting it back into myself.
Correct. Mhm.
Right?
Yes.
So it's still like I'll just like chop off the tip of my finger or something like that, and it's like, oh, but do the nanites,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah,
kinda
yeah.
come back
Very,
together?
very, very T2000ish. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, awesome.
Derek, can you spell that one for me?
Yeah. That one's just a bunch of T's, P's, and L's.
I'm kidding. I'm not even taking the notes.
I know. Well, I know it's George, so he gets to reference that.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Please spell hello.
Oh,
HELLO.
Oh,
oh, whatever happened to the speak and spell?
discover.
Oh no! Did we leave it back in New Prussia? Oh man!
We don't need that.
Oh, we need to put that in a museum.
You have one here. The betrayal says, "Oh,
I know. So that is what you guys are doing. Pulsar. As you don't currently have like a job or a home, really, as of
Hobo.
this point, you're probably crashing out at some abandoned home. for the time being.
Okay.
Oh, Mark and Pulsar, we're going to have that meeting after the analysis of the
Results.
thingy.
What
the piece of
analysis was?
metal?
Oh, the metal. Okay,
Yeah.
which we can actually do that right now then.
Okay, sweet.
So, so you haven't really been hearing anything. The city has been kind of calm, which has been odd for you since you got here. It's been kind of, go, go, go. So to go a couple days without really having anything to do has been a little unnerving. Of course, the situation in Senia has not, improved any as of this point, and you've still been waiting for the meeting at this point with Hyperion, and finally that day has come.
All right. Sorry, I'm taking notes. I hope my finger tapping's not too loud.
No, actually, I don't hear it at all. It's perfect.
Okay, good to know. Okay. All right,
So,
yeah.
I mean, at this point, I guess it's just armor up and go spook the normies as you go visit the office again.
Yeah. Right. So, yeah, I'll put my Sunday shoes on and I'll head back over to Quantum.
Okay.
Yeah, whenever I wear my armor to the office, it spooks the normies too.
And we always call them normies.
Yep.
It's not belittling or anything.
Oh yeah, I love it when people call me a normie or a pleb. We should call them plebs.
Pleb.
Yeah.
Weeb. So, so at this point, Dale, you're probably making arrangements at the office, letting people know this time so security isn't alarmed that you've got somebody coming over,
Right.
that sort of thing.
Were we able to analyze that thingy using
Yes,
the tech?
They were. Mm-hmm. It is a metal grade that is like a strong premium steel, but it doesn't register on any element factor. So it's not like a Dravixium, like a super metal or whatnot. But it does appear to be like whatever the metal was for. It would be the equivalent of like a premium steel girder or something like that. Like it still has a good structural quality to it.
Okay. And we can't tell like what its like atomic or molecular structure is.
Yeah, it doesn't
like,
register.
Wow. Okay. All right. Gotcha.
Can they determine like what metals it's made out of? I know I'm not there, but I'm taking notes.
Yeah, no, they have not. Whatever it was made from, it does not register on this planet.
Okay. Oh boy. Okay. Okay. Well, yeah. So then he'll have that, and he'll have like the printout or whatever, ready for him in an envelope and all official and all of that stuff.
Sure. They're also working on, based on the description of what he gave and what the media has been able to capture footage wise of these recorders. So they've got a markup of that and roughly where they anticipate that piece of metal probably came from on the structure. So they're still doing work on it, like how does it work in the system, and like is it a flexible type of metal, is it this, that, or the other. So there's still more details they're doing with it, but the initial spectrum analysis is done.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, let's see. Did we know so like a few of these recorders and machines have been downed in Strongford? Where have those like downed automatons been taken to?
Government black sites.
Got it. Okay, figured something a bit like that. All right.
Yep.
All right. Okay, yeah. So he'll just, as Mark, make sure that he's got all that information ready for Pulsar when he arrives.
Okay.
They're in the hangar next to the UFOs in Area 51.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right next to the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah. Well, they've got room now that Ixion's ship isn't there.
Oh,
Yeah.
There you
We
go.
should storm it, Area 51.
Only if you run like
Can't catch us all.
I was going to say only if you run like you're from Naruto.
Yeah, they can't stop all of us.
Because that's the way to do it. Yeah.
So, so as you're getting ready and whatnot in the office, there's a knock at your door.
Enter.
So, door comes open. Bitter Shadow is standing there.
Uh-oh.
Is she dressed as Bitter Shadow or dressed as like a civilian?
She is dressed as a civilian.
Okay.
Not appropriate to office, but dressed as a civilian.
Okay. And so
she has kind of a long, slinky red dress. Think in the sense, although not quite as revealing on top. Think Jessica Rabbit.
Okay.
Like that long slit up the side. You know, she has, you know, nice gloves on, a clutch, you know, at her side.
Okay. Okay. Let's see.
Be careful because she might have a booby trap. Sorry.
A booby, right.
Jerome, for the notes, how many abs does she have?
And the only reason I say that, because it's a little tongue in cheek, is because of Jessica Rabbit.
Right. So then, and at this point, they haven't actually seen like, she hasn't seen Mark own, well, okay. So then he's gonna be like, hello, miss. Do I know you?
She says, "Oh, you know exactly who I am." And she taps her head. It took me a while to track you down. Not very nice.
I do apologize. Come in. Have a seat if you'd like. I was just finishing up something for a meeting I was about to have. I also didn't know how to contact you. I know we left on short notice.
She says, "Oh, well, I'm sure we can resolve that now." And she, you know, demurely sits down in one of the chairs, letting her skirt reveal, you know, one of her legs decently, right, but not completely inappropriately. Like she's not pulling a, you know, Sharon Stone.
Right. Yeah. So he's like, I only have water here due to, of course, who I am. So I apologize for no alcohol. I know that's typically customary. Would you like some?
She says, no, that's quite all right. She says, so after this meeting of yours, you're going to be available? She kind of like doing one of these numbers to look at the calendar on your desk.
Yes, actually, assuming nothing happens, of course. Fortunately, things have been quite stable the past 2.5 to 3 days. How has your life been the past few days?
Boring.
So freedom has not been that good to you? You haven't had anything that you could do with your time?
Oh, there are plenty of things I could have done with my time. I just assumed you wouldn't find it becoming.
Ah, I see. Well, I do appreciate the change that you've made as far as that goes. I need to ask you something. And he goes ahead and he walks over and he'll sit down at like a seat that's across from her. Like,
okay,
I'm assuming he's got like a decent sized office with that.
Well, all you have to do is go look at that video of the building that we based this off of.
That's right.
Yeah, all of the executive offices in there, they are swank.
Yeah, that's right. So he goes ahead and he takes a seat and he's like, I have been, of course, observing others, humanity, for quite some time to understand how people react, how they think, and how they feel. But I've never encountered a person who would be interested in a being like me, such in the way that you do. Can you explain to me why you have this interest?
She says, well, I told you back in Russia. It's very base, at least initially, although I do admire your Boy Scout nature. She says, it's because I can't leech anything from you. It's refreshing to be around somebody that I don't constantly feel life force ebbing away from them.
I see.
And you
That-
are one of the first individuals that I've discovered that is like that. It's refreshing.
Well then, that does make sense. I'm sorry that you have that issue. I take it you have no way to control that absorption that takes place when you're near others.
And I mean, she shrugs. She says, I do to an extent, but it's like a classic vampire. Eventually it needs to come out. And I would rather it come out on my terms rather than its own.
I see.
I mean, you've been where it emanates from. It's not exactly a pleasant place.
True. I wanted to ask you as well, and then he goes ahead and stands up, and he just continues to get ready for the meeting,
Mhm.
and he's like, "How did you come about your powers? Were you born with them, or did that happen due to work you were doing? You seem to have
she says,
some."
I'm the classic know-it-all. She says it was a science lab experiment gone wrong. That's one of the reasons why I found the paper that written by Dr. Carmen, whatever her last name was.
Cook.
That was out of character, but yeah. So the reason why I found it so interesting that Dr. Carmen Cook's paper was produced, it was enlightening.
Yes. Were you then in the same type of field, trying to determine the same type of interdimensional understanding?
In a more limited sense, yes.
Well, seeing as how you've made some changes already, have you considered perhaps getting back into that type of work?
And she kind of pauses for a second and tilts her head and she says, Mr. Onett, are you offering me a job? Certainly you know my record. It's not exactly a sterling one.
Granted, however, you also know a little bit about me, how I believe in giving people chances. I believe in mercy. It wouldn't be fair to condemn somebody forever if they're willing to change.
And she says, well, that is positively capital of you, sir. I would need to think about that for a bit, if that's all right by you.
Of course. I know taking a job like this means that you'd be here more often, and, well, that would change your life, as well as inhibit you from other activities, but please do keep it under careful consideration.
I will. I did not expect that, but I will.
Excellent.
And
Well
like at that point, you get a buzz on your desk. Glowing Man is here to see you, sir.
Excellent. Thank you. I'll meet him in the lobby downstairs.
And she says, Glowing Man?
Yes, if you'd like to actually accompany me to listen in, I wouldn't mind. It's nothing that secretive. Have you heard of the recent activity that's been happening in Strongford?
She says, define recent activity. There's a lot that goes on in this city, and not all of it makes the news.
True. Apparently this has happened in other locations in the southwest United States as well, where very large machines that we now know are called recorders have been abducting people from cities and other centers.
Oh, you mean the large Japanese robo things? Yes, I'm familiar with whatever was making the waves.
Apparently, those were of an extremely advanced and ancient civilization. I've actually been helping this hero, Pulsar, who recently made his entry into our city and defended it against one of these machines. He provided me with a piece of it, and we've actually analyzed it. I have the results of it here. He goes ahead and picks up the manila folder. And that's the meeting. Would you like to accompany me?
She says, only if you take my arm.
He walks over and holds out his arm to take hers.
Okay. And she just motions, lead away.
Goes ahead and heads to the elevator so they can go down to the lobby.
Okay. So eventually, a CEO businessman with a drop dead, gorgeous, somewhat pale looking woman, on his arm, giving the very Tony Stark vibe at this point. Like, he's got a woman for any meeting or any place he goes. Sort of look. He comes walking up. And in fact, even the security guards are kind of like turning and looking like, what the, like the heck? And he, they approach at this point, George.
Okay.
And I take it Pulsar is wearing his armor like he has been before and all that.
Probably, but powered down to an extent, so he's not like radiating so much energy.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not showing his face.
Okay. All right. So yeah, he walks up with Bitter Shadow. And he's like, Pulsar, excellent. Glad you made it. I have the information here. Would you like to go over it out in the open or within a conference room?
He's gonna kind of look over at the lady and be like, am I interrupting anything?
Oh, not exactly. An impromptu visit by Miss... And then he looks to Bitter Shadow.
So she extends her hand demurely to Pulsar, and she says, Dr. Gauthier.
Okay. I'm gonna need you to spell that for me later. Yeah, he'll kind of reach out to shake the hand.
And she
he'll say,
says, my, aren't you the large individual? She says, certainly you're not glowing on my account.
I kind of look over at Mark and just be like, yeah, I'm just here for the information, ma'am. No disrespect.
Oh, none taken. And she says, why don't I executively decide, and let's have you boys meet in one of his fine meeting rooms. Give yourself some privacy in case it's needed.
Excellent. We'll be right back. So it goes ahead and goes with Pulsar to a nearby conference room.
Okay. Yeah, I follow.
Head inside, make sure the door is closed, and then walk over and then place the manila folder on the desk, open it up, and spread out some of the information and show it to him, and just kind of go over the different analysis. And essentially, he'll summarize by going, it is apparently material that we cannot actually fully identify with the machines that we have here. It is not earthbound, and likely not even from this solar system. It is clearly extraterrestrial.
Figures. Are you able to, I guess, is there any way for you to maybe create a device that can maybe seek out or see where this stuff is propagating? Maybe we can create some sort of like detector or something.
My teams are still actually working on the sample you provided to actually see what its properties are. The more we can determine with that, the more likely we'll be to create a detector in order to actually find it based on said properties, such as if it's magnetic, if it fluoresces, anything of that nature, if it responds to specific wavelengths of energy. Once we know that, it'll be much easier to actually find it. But it would seem that something like this, or at least the machines made out of this, are within this area of the United States based on the recent attacks that have happened.
But if it's a some sort of extraterrestrial metal, how is it like? If you're saying you're not saying it naturally occurs here, so there must have been some place this. I guess this was left here then.
And you end up seeing like a shadow move briefly, and then she steps out from the shadow.
Okay.
And she's and she just says, you know, calmly, she says, Mr. Onett, you could obviously recalibrate one of your satellites to do a spectrum broadband spectrum analysis.
That is true. We haven't actually tested the full capabilities of those satellites yet. Well, like looking at her from the shadow, then looking back to Pulsar, just to see what Pulsar's reaction to that is.
There was probably like initial like, I'm pretty sure you didn't come in with us, but I think he's gonna like, you know, I don't think he's gonna bat too much of an eye at oh of course.
Okay. So then he goes, well, with that, we could actually work on detecting it a little sooner. If you'll actually excuse me a moment. And he turns to the side and he will sub-vocalize Hyperion to Helios. Do you read?
Helios is present. There is coffee waiting for you at the vein.
Excellent. Thank you, Helios. Beyond that, I'd like you to see if we can use the locator satellite network to find a particular type of metallic alloy. Do you think that that's something that the satellites are capable of based on what you can read?
Based on information that has been provided, of course. These satellites were tasked with finding genetic anomalies within human beings, narrowed down to very very finite specifics. Finding an ore, especially one perhaps found in the open, should be a simple recalibration.
Excellent. Can we assume that like I would have already had some of that information about the ore like moved to the Vane's computer as well?
Given the fact you just got the spectrum analysis done, no.
Okay.
But getting it put down on like a CD or something, yeah, not a problem.
Okay, gotcha. He's like, all right, then make sure to have at least one of the satellites ready to locate a particular type of ore in our area of the United States. I'm going to obtain the information you'll need to actually locate it and provide it to you shortly. Let me know when you're ready for that analysis.
Affirmative.
So then he'll look up to Pulsar and go, I will need to actually provide some information into a databank that we have in order to use the satellites Dr. Gauthier was actually mentioning. I can then relay that information to you. I take it you still have no means of communication, no phone number or anything of that nature I could reach you at?
Not currently. If it's all the same to you, if it won't take too terribly long, I don't mind waiting.
I see. Well then, excellent. If you'd like to either wait here or in the lobby, or in fact, if you'd like a tour of the facility, I can have one of our assistants take you on one if you'd like.
Tours sounds interesting. I also don't want to alarm any other people kind of coming in. Even this is my second time here, and I'm still getting looks. I get it, but I also don't want to disrupt your business.
Trust me, you actually wouldn't be. If anything, you'd be possibly contributing to the business. We actually deal with many superpowered beings.
Interesting. So what I'll kind of, well, I guess I can save that for later. I do want to ask you just really quick, what plans do you have for the rest of the sample that I gave you?
As I mentioned, we'll be putting it through the paces to actually determine all of its properties, its conductivity, malleability, and so forth. That way we know exactly what it is, or at least can find a way to perhaps replicate it or determine where it would have come from. Astrophysical data is relatively minimal, difficult to come by, but we could perhaps find out even where in the galaxy it comes from the more we know about it. Did you need it back?
No, I was actually thinking it might be Jerome. Out of character, real quick. Like when I fight these things, did I get the sense that this metal is something that most normal weapons wouldn't be able to pierce through?
Hard to say. You didn't really encounter anybody outside of heroes that were dealing with it. You weren't there to see if like police firearms were dealing with it. But just looking at it, typical handguns probably would have a problem dealing with it. So
Okay.
whatever it is, it's probably layered enough that most small arm caliber probably couldn't do much to it. Now, a tank, a cannon, bazooka, who knows? But it just from first guess, it's at least got that.
Okay. And it's the part that I brought. It's probably not too terribly large, right?
No, it's
Because it was like
it's
the heart
about
of the thing.
no. What you brought him was about half the size of a basketball. I forget
Backboard?
backboard. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
So it was. I mean, it's obviously it would be hard to compare because it's bent into an unrecognizable shape, but that would be something you could compare it to. So it has some heft to it.
Okay. So yeah, I'll to Hyperion, I'll say or to Mark, wink. Yeah, I'll say yeah, I don't necessarily need it back. If you can provide me a way of discovering where these things are holding up, then I can, that's really all I need. I was just thinking that I'm assuming that you all are, because you just mentioned the kind of business and the kind of people that kind of come through here, you all are of a like taking action type.
Well, we are definitely of the helping superheroes defend our city type. And clearly that's what you intend to do. So I'll do anything that I can to help you accomplish that.
Okay. In that case, I would like to ask for you to keep the sample, and if you find that there's a way to weaponize it such that these things are not going to be very easy for normal people to kill or to take out. So if you can maybe, if this metal works pretty decently as something that you could fashion into like a blade or some sort of like tip for a missile, I think using their own metal against them sounds pretty deserving.
That could work. And I appreciate the ownership rights. Thank you. We will do everything we can to determine everything we can about it. And of course, use it to whatever good we can. So with that, let me find somebody who can give you that tour, and I'll be back as soon as I can with the information you need.
Understood.
Goes ahead and then,
So just before you leave,
oh yeah,
there's a brief lull as Dr. Gauthier motions Mark forward a little bit, and she leans into whisper, and she does whisper into your ear. Her lips brush against his ear just casually, getting a little close. But she ends up whispering, saying, "Why don't you just check Daddy's database? I'm certain he's going to have something about it. He was a big brain after all."
it is possible. We can at least do both. But interesting that you know that as well. You're very resourceful.
Fought him 7 or 8 times. I mean, I have at least that much respect for the man.
Noted. Well then, I'll be back with the specific information if you'll
I will
allow
keep
me
your
this.
guest entertained,
Ah,
and I promise
excellent.
not to bite.
Good to hear. Goes ahead and opens the door, escorts them both out of the conference room, and then
Okay.
gets like a nearby assistant to like take them both on a tour of the
Sure.
place. And then he's gonna go ahead and head to his researchers to get that information like on a disc or
Yep.
CD or whatever.
Get burned down to a disc, no problem.
Cool. With that, he's going to then head back up to his office, and then he'll go Hyperion to Shone. Do you read?
Just before you get to that point, Pulsar, as you guys are about to walk around, the doctor offers her arm. She says, "Are you going to be a gentleman?"
He'll just kind of look at her and be, is this customary, ma'am?
If you are a gentleman, yes, it is. Armor otherwise.
All right. Don't. Sure. He'll kind of put an arm out there.
Okay. And then she lets the guy take them on the tour of the facility. Go ahead.
Okay. So yeah. So then he's like, Hyperion to Shone. Do you read?
Yes.
Excellent. Do you have a moment to help transport me to the vein and then back to Quantum Unlimited for a moment?
Right now?
If you're not indisposed, if you are, then I'll take the normal way.
And then you end up hearing in the background, "Order number 35. Order number 35.
Ah,
Yeah, give me 5. And I'll be there.
I see. Excellent. I am in my office, just so you know.
Okay. So yeah, she'll go tell Megalith.
Shone's moonlighting as a waitress.
Yes. Yeah, she'll have to tell Megalith that she's got to go for a bit and she'll catch up with him soon.
Okay. He says, "Okay, it's been great. I'm just gonna finish up my 6th meal here, and I'll call it a day."
Okay. We'll see you soon. And she will leave the restaurant, go around the corner to where nobody can see her, and she poofs.
Okay.
And she appears in Mark's office.
Excellent. And you see Mark is holding a CD case with the CD in it. You need to head to the vein.
Shelly,
It's floppy.
why don't you roll your intuition?
Okay. This should be interesting.
Mhm.
You smell her perfume.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
She
Oh,
probably
Chris.
left her lipstick on his neck.
Or yeah, like something like that.
Yeah, brushed up against him, or she took his wallet.
Green.
Dang it.
Okay. Yeah, he smells very feminine. It's a very nice, kind of flowery scent.
She's gonna look at him kind of strange and walk closer to him and
You don't smell like your normal 10W30.
um
Is that fully synthetic?
are you trying out a new shampoo or something?
Oh, no, you detect the aromatic presence of Dr. Gautier.
Um okay. She new employee?
Possibly.
And
I-
what'd you do? Hug her as a welcome?
She hugged me, actually. Well, to explain, apparently that is Bitter Shadow.
Oh. So
Yes.
you guys were I won't go there. Um so you want to go back to the vein? Yeah, I can. Yeah, let's go. And she's just gonna poof
Huh?
without even any
Okay.
warning.
Sure.
She just doesn't want to picture her brother getting down and dirty with Bitter Shadows.
So, Red Arsenal and Xenofreeze, as you guys are finishing up in the gym finally, Xenofreeze with that unhealthy realization that electricity is no longer his friend, you end up seeing Hyperion and Shone appear like right in the middle of the main conference room where the big computer and the desk and chairs and everything is at.
Oh, hey guys, what are you guys up to?
Red Arsenal. Excellent. Yes, finally have the finished analysis of the metal that Pulsar actually provided us with regard to the recorders. Going to see if the satellite network can actually pick up on it. And
Joan, oh, go ahead.
see
Sorry.
if something else is within the database.
Joan's just gonna toss her extra hamburger and fries at Red Arsenal.
Yep.
She's
Grab.
already eaten too much.
Yep.
He'll
so
grab 'em.
Hyperion smells very flowery, very very nice. Shone smells very McDonald's.
Yeah,
Who
I
had
think
the better
Mark-
time? Who's to say?
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think- I think you did. I mean,
Ba-da-da-da-da.
I know.
I mean, he's nice to look at, but not so much fun to watch him eat like 10 hamburgers and I don't know how many fries.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
Do you mix up your cologne this morning, Hyperion?
Oh no, he was hugging a new employee.
Oh, ooh, oh.
that's not
Mm.
entirely accurate.
Oh,
No.
I think so.
It was Mrs. Dr. Gautier, also known as Bitter Shadow.
The criminal mastermind?
She
Mark's new
is
girlfriend.
You've gone to the dark side.
no.
She's come to the light side?
One moment, please. And he walks over to the computer.
Okay.
You know, and Joan real quick is going to subdermally tell Carmen Mr. Loverboy's lady friend is at the office, by the way.
I think I'm still at the office.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, sorry, say that again then.
She's going to say Loverboy's new flame is at the office as we speak. Just follow the floral scent. You'll find her.
Yeah, and Dr. Godier is with them.
Um,
She was your cellmate.
wait, are you did you like call me on the phone or?
No, this is subdermal.
Subvocal. So-
Oh, right.
Yeah,
I-
it's not subdermal.
Subdermal. Yeah, so subvocal.
If it's subdermal, you're talking to your own skin, and it's not really getting anywhere.
That's funny.
Which would be funny.
I forgot what I was going to say.
She was your
Oh.
cellmate.
She's going to say, is she allowed to be here?
I don't know, but Hyperion smells like her. If that gives you any indication.
I don't want to think about that.
You were such a gossip. I love it.
Yeah, well, I already had that unfortunate vision, so you have to share in my pain.
Oh
gosh.
God.
So, so you might see her. Just giving you a heads up.
Okay. I'll keep my eyes peeled.
And I'll tell you more later.
Do I want to know more later?
Always. Hello.
All right. Oh boy.
And she's just going to stand there, innocent, kind of rocking back and forth on her feet, like she did nothing at all.
Red
Okay.
Arsenal is chowing down.
All right, so Pulsar, you are being given the royal treatment, shown all around the complex. Not quite going into the super secure areas, but you're shown like where they're at. The guy is giving you kind of a rundown of what they do. They do employ people, empowered individuals, as they refer to them, to not only help test, but to also help their testing process. So like if they have experience with like X, Y, or Z, like regeneration or whatever have you, they can help others, figure that out, or the testing process. So it's very two-sided. And they also work, as the guy is telling you, they also work with a location in upstate New York called the Haven Institute, to work with some of their students and helping them acclimate to the changes that have been happening in their lives, if that is how it is brought up. Once in a while, they also partner with the Aegis Foundation when there is something deemed like strange or out of the ordinary, aka like the metals that you found, or something that they will partner up and try to figure that out, scientifically speaking or whatnot. But the primary thing that Quantum Unlimited does is it is a technology firm. They produce a new type of hard drive right now, as well as a new medical scanner. They're working on some other things, but those are the two things right now that the company has been working on. So effectively, the company on an out of character level, they have produced a hard drive that is like 240 or 250 gigabytes solid state drive, and it's in 1994.
Oh.
Which is unheard of. So they are ahead of that curve at that point. And it's a big seller, obviously, because it holds tons of data, for nowadays standards. And it's way faster and more secure than most platter-based hard drives.
Holds even more than a zip drive.
Yes, way more than a zip drive.
And a 3 1/4 floppy. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, you can fit 3 or 4 of those in this. Yeah.
But if you fold them up, then you can fit even more of them in there.
Right. Yes. And you don't even have to take the hole puncher to the side to write on either side of the disc.
Nice.
We're going old school here.
Yeah.
So, and they have that in the medical scanner. And they also walk you by some of the offices. And at this point, you see Dr. Gauthier, who you're with, stop the man and stop you. And she says, "Oh, hold on 1 second. I was unaware that she worked here." And you see the sign on the office that says Dr. Carmen Cook.
Uh-oh. Sister-in-law meeting.
My big fat superhero wedding.
Nice.
And there you go.
That's perfect.
Give me 1 second. My stuff is just about here, it looks like. What I'm going to do is let me key up the intro here. So she wants to obviously go inside the office at this point. And so the security guy, knocks on the door. And so Carmen, you hear that there's a knock at your door.
Carmen will jump a little and then look up and look through the window.
Okay.
And see who it is.
You see that there are 3 people out there. One guy who's in a glowing kind of armor, being walked around by Bitter Shadow, looking like she's ready for a night on the town. And one of the security guys.
And somewhere Sean's going, I told you.
Carmen will save her work and close everything so that it's secure
Sure.
and not visible.
Okay.
And she'll
It takes a
she'll
little
go.
bit like you see in Office Space, because that's the software you guys are dealing with at this point. So it's all saving, and then it shows icons where it's saving,
and she'll get up and go to the door and open it.
Okay.
And she'll say,
So out of character, hold that thought real quick. I'll be right back.
My big fat superhero wedding.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Did the best man just collapse into a puddle of molten metal? And all of a sudden a head pops up. I always lose my consistency at weddings.
That's normal.
that would actually be a really entertaining
It would. One thing you have to worry about Sean is her accidentally blowing out a refuse in the venue. Oh, you
Dude,
want lights?
we should write a short comic.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be funny.
Is that what we're gonna do? We're just gonna do goofy laughs until Jerome gets back.
Red Arsenal would go over to Hyperion because he was talking about a metal.
Yeah.
And he was going to say, you think you can make an arrow out of that?
Well, I've had a different idea in mind, actually. Something that would be easier for you to wield.
Okay.
I still haven't received the information back from New Prussian's scientists, but once we do, I should be able to understand their psionic technology, at least to the degree that they understand it, and replicate it, form it into a weapon system that I was thinking of for you. Something of a bow, since you are an archer, correct?
Yeah. But I don't do well with and he'll point to his head. I can't really control it. I could hurt people. I've hurt people.
That would actually be the purpose of the weapon. Instead of you focusing on it, the weapon would. You would simply be providing the degree of force. Of course, the more you can learn to actually harness control over it, the better. So, when it comes to your training, I do suggest that you do lean in that direction at least to a degree.
So, who
Okay,
am
I'm back. Sorry about that.
What do you think I should do? Do you think I should like focus on live people or
We'll first need to see what it can actually do to inanimate objects
okay.
to see if you can actually practice on that first. But let me see if I can actually develop the device first, and then you can work on your actual enhancement and control of your psionics afterwards.
Understood. Okay, cool. And he'll go over, pal around with Ixion and Shion.
Okay, so back to our scene at the office.
So Carmen will open the door and say, I'm feeling a bit underdressed. Did I miss a memo?
And just very briefly, Bitter Shadow was kind of surprised, and she says, "Oh." She says, "No, you didn't miss anything, Dr. Cook. We are currently going on what did they call it? A tour? Yes, we are going on a tour of your lovely facility here. Aren't we, Mr. Pulsar?"
Quite right, Dr. Gaudier.
I see.
And so security guard's about ready to, introduce everybody, and he says, "Dr. Cook, this is Mr. Pulsar. Mr. Pulsar, this is Dr. Cook."
Pulsar is fine, thank you.
Oh,
you.
yes. Sorry. The official superhero name, Pulsar.
No, it's Mr. just sounds kind of weird.
Mr. was my dad.
Yeah.
Carmen will offer her hand to shake
Yeah.
to Pulsar.
I'll put a hand out, shake it.
I believe I heard from our CEO about a project he was working on with you, Pulsar.
Yeah, less of a. Well, I'm not sure exactly what is going on, other than spectral analysis of metals and possibly helping me locate the place where these things are coming from. But yeah, hopefully, I'll with the help that your facility here is will provide, I'll be able to keep the city and the world safe from these recorders.
It's a worthy pursuit for sure. I look forward to finding out the results. And Dr. Gautier, it's nice to see you again. Are you in Strongford for a while?
He says, I'm here for a bit, yes. And she's of course playing coy, with the realization of who you are. But she says, your paper that you wrote on the dimensional anomalies and encoding and how one might traverse those particular or cross those barriers and how to do so was
purely
quite
theoretical,
inspiring.
Of course. Why, thank you.
You're most welcome. I did not realize that you were the author of said paper when we first met.
Oh, has it colored your opinions?
I would say favorably.
Interesting.
It's always nice to inadvertently meet a like mind, somebody as gifted as you are. And she nudges, Pulsar at this point. She says, I know we're probably talking too much shop at this point. She says, but this young lady here is responsible for perhaps one of our biggest breakthroughs in the scientific community, easily within the past 10 years.
Oh, that's I am sorry for my ignorance. I was not aware.
No, of course, it's a very niche application.
So, could you possibly break it down into layman's terms? I'd like to know more.
It might take more than a hallway conversation. Are you in the middle of your tour? Or are you finishing up?
She says, no, we're all in the middle of it. And she turns and looks to the gentleman who had been escorting them. She says, you may go. And he's just like, and he just turns and walks away. And she says, we're with the doctor. It will be quite all right.
It's a 3-hour tour.
It's all right. I wasn't in the middle of anything important. Just, research on more world-breaking science.
And she says, well, it's not very often that you get to meet an individual who is positively radiating cosmic energy.
You might be surprised. But I suppose I could pick up where your tour left off. She'll step out of the office and lock the door.
Okay. In locking the door, you understand that does nothing.
As though that would keep out anyone that really, wanted to get through in this building.
It's more for you just to say, I made the effort.
I like how Carmen responds when she's out of her element.
It's a liability thing, Okay, well, which direction were you heading?
She just motions down the hall.
Okay, so Carmen will keep walking, and she makes for probably a worse tour guide because she doesn't know what other people are actually interested in knowing about the facility, and she's not good at talking up her accomplishments. So it's probably the kind of tour that you might give to a new hire. Here's the break room. This is where you can get some office supplies. This is the printer.
Here's our scenic candy machine.
If you jostle it just like this, then you can usually get a second bag of M&Ms. The important stuff about,
right. Yeah, exactly.
about
The really
office.
important stuff.
But if there's anything that they do come across, they're welcome to ask questions, and she'll try and answer. Okay. I don't know what else they would come across in the office.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so I'll get back to you guys in a second. So Hyperion, as you are getting that information put down into Helios's systems, he's of course going to multitask and get that taken care of. Mm-hmm. He mentions that there is an alert and that he has located somebody with a genetic marker.
One that matches the Dexamite marker.
Affirmative.
Where are they located?
Currently at Quantum Unlimited.
At Quantum Unlimited.
Affirmative.
Interesting. How long have they been there?
I cannot tell based on the marker. It would appear based upon their slow pace that they are on a tour.
Can you use the satellite network then to identify what they're capable of? Perhaps that will identify who they are.
One moment. So there's a pause. Affirmative. I have isolated the genetic marker.
Can you describe the person then and what their capabilities are?
Correct. This individual can speak with plants.
Speak with plants. Interesting. Is that their primary ability, or is there anything else they're capable of?
I am detecting a large amount of energy emanating from them, but it does not appear to be tied to their genetic marker.
Fascinating.
There is also a 95%. There is, now that I have access to the information that Xenofreeze has added to my database, there is a 95% possibility that it is of a relation to you.
Another sibling. Fascinating. Can you locate exactly where in the building they are right now?
I do not have access to blueprints of this particular building. Based upon their location, it would seem that they are still relatively close to Dr. Cook's office.
Dr. Cook's office. And so then he'll vocalize Hyperion to Lightbringer. Do you read?
She'll sub-vocalize back. Yeah, I'm giving a tour to your lady friend and the glowing guy.
The Pulsar.
Right. Yes, him.
And those are the only individuals you're with right now?
Yeah. Your security guy left them with me.
I've just been informed by Helios that an individual you were right next to not only is a superpowered being, which, of course, but it seems like their genetic markers might make them another sibling of ours. That would apparently be Pulsar.
It would be quite confusing if it's the other one.
I mean,
It's okay because he's an
they're
android.
not blood related.
No cousin stuff.
He does.
Oh no.
This issue is brought to you by the makers of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Yeah,
And Fallout.
right, yeah.
So Carmen stops where they are and she looks around to see is there anybody in the hallway nearby? Are they she would even go if she doesn't see anyone, she would even go as far as doing an empathy check to see if somebody's invisible.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay.
I do have a question. What does it look like when you guys are doing this sub vocalizing? Do you guys just you're just
You're probably just kind
just go like this.
yeah, that's what Remus did, yeah.
you would just be seeing them kind of maybe moving their mouth just barely, but not really hearing that much, unless you're putting your ear right up next to their neck or something to hear what they're saying.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna do that, but I think at this point he's seen you do it and he's seeing her do it.
Yeah.
So
Maybe we just talk to ourselves.
That
I got a
that's
yellow.
worrying. That's worrying in a facility where you guys are dealing with like super alien stuff. As everyone talks to themselves and be like, "Are you a hive mind? Are you all bees?"
What are you talking about?
Well,
Warning, warning. We need an attraction.
Yeah.
Hyperion, he wouldn't be able, he could sub vocalize without manifesting anything, and probably so could I.
Yeah.
But we're the only two, I guess, by that description, that would be other than like doing something like
Yeah. Everyone else, there's going to be a little bit of something.
right.
Still seems weird.
Um,
I've seen two people do it.
I got a yellow feet.
Okay.
Sweet.
I mean, isn't that like a sciencey thing to do? Like people that are like in their heads all the time,
Sure.
just kind of like talking to themselves.
You do not detect any additional emotion around you, although Bitter Shadow is quite amused.
Mm-hmm.
Pulsar is probably a little unsure of himself still.
Carmen will respond. How do you want to handle this?
For now, don't reveal anything. I think we need to perhaps bring this to his attention in a different way. He's expecting different treatment, and I'm still trying to help him. So you are now aware. We are aware. Just keep that in mind, but act casual.
Right. Okay.
Carmen acting casual. This will be fun.
I just realized the way I take notes, this is not going to be helpful to anybody. Yeah, y'all will see. I take notes in like stream of consciousness. So
You're not the first one to do that.
Right. Yeah.
okay, cool.
Okay. Any questions?
So after you get the M&Ms, because that's I think where we left off.
Then I usually just take them back to my desk and get back to work. But I guess you could eat them in the break room. Or, take them home and for later. Whatever you want to do with the M&Ms is up to you.
Okay, Jerome, do I have pockets on my suit?
We will say yes.
Okay. I slip it into a panel.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, so was there anything else you were hoping to see? I don't usually give tours.
I wasn't particularly aiming to get a tour when I showed up, so I'm not really sure what I would want to see. But yeah, I'm kind of just waiting for Mark to return with hopefully some information about locations for the recorders. I don't. I'm assuming, and I think
is
written. So, oh, go
Is
ahead.
that what he was? Is that what he was doing?
Yeah, he's your group has been working on analyzing a sample that I brought that I took straight from a recorder's body. I couldn't figure out where it comes from, and I was hoping that you all might be able to give me more information about where it's manufactured, where it comes from. But it sounds like that might be a trickier proposition. But he's supposed to be hopefully getting some info back on kind of where they might be being made.
I see. Okay. Well, we can go wait for him outside his office, I guess. Can you describe where you got this sample?
I got it as I go through my brain notes, aka memories. Yeah, I got it from. Let's see. I'm not sure where in Strongford, but I got it in Strongford. There was an attack a few days ago, uh, where these entities they're attempting to abduct civilians. Uh,
Oh yes, I heard about that. You were how many? How many did you see?
I think we saw three, right, Jerome? Two. Okay, we saw two.
Were you the only one fighting them?
No, there was a group called the Southwest All Stars. They also deployed.
Oh, they're not a Strongford team. I don't think I've seen them here before.
Yeah, the doctor answered. She says, "Oh no, they're based out of Texas."
What were they doing here?
They said that there had been attacks by these things even as far as Amarillo, and so they had essentially been kind of following the trail to
Oh,
Strongford.
So they were superheroing.
I'm surprised none of the Strongford locals jumped on it.
Are there a lot of super people in Strongford?
She says, "Oh yes, the legacy calls this place home," and she just smiles.
Not just the legacy. There are others based
Oh, of
here.
course, I'm certain that there are others, but perhaps they were taken up. You know, the legacy is quite busy with things sometimes.
I see. Uh,
Well,
well,
as I understand it, the legacy doesn't police only Strongford. They sometimes handle missions elsewhere, from what I've seen on the news, of course.
And she says, and she looks to Pulsar and she says, "They do. You should have seen them in Argentina. They made the news. Quite the splash."
do I
And don't
get the
forget Russia.
At this point, Carmen's like, I wish I could sub vocalize something to you.
do I like do I get the sense that like because I'm kind of
He's like, there's subtext going on, and I don't know how to read it.
yeah he's not privy to this, but like is there something I should roll to see if he can figure out what that might be?
Like
Go
the
ahead and
little-
roll intuition. Sure.
The
And
little
the funny
kid,
thing is, oh, go ahead.
the little kid that's trying to figure out, like, wait a second, mom and dad are talking about something with big words.
Mm.
And the funny thing is that by Carmen bringing this up, she was actually going to a different line of questioning than where Bitter Shadow took it.
Yeah.
So, but now her pride is knocked. So,
Okay, I got a green feat.
Okay. Yeah, there's some subtext here. You're not sure like what exactly is going on, but they both know something.
so you could probably tell that the two of them know, maybe have spoken to each other before, or like maybe they know more of each other than
They're a little more familiar
on the surface.
Yeah, they're a little more familiar with each other than just having met.
Oh yeah, I yeah the way they talk to each other is not how Fred like I'm like oh I've walked into history.
So Carmen will lead them back to Mark's office.
Okay.
And
That'll
not go inside, but wait kind of in his waiting area.
Okay.
And then she'll sub-vocalize, hey, Hyperion, are you headed back here anytime soon?
I'm still
Or do I
waiting.
need to stall?
I'm still waiting for Helios to complete his analysis so that he can actually locate this material. I should be there within the next few minutes.
So you're at the vein right now, correct?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, you see him like right in front of the computer terminal.
Okay.
Roger that.
I
Jack-
came across
Jack-
some. Yeah, I came across some very interesting findings with my genetic research, and I fill you in on how I isolated the Dexamite gene from Anirobone, but that there's a marker that is the adaptive property
Mhm.
of one of the codes in the Dexamite genetic code that allows it to interact, and then and allows the species splicing, and then also if we could find out the or get a sample of that device that we got hit with that inhibit, or not the hit inhibitor ray, but the that radiation that Carmen and I got hit with, that
In
if we
Argentina.
get that in Argentina, that if we could get a sample of that, then I could see about possibly reversing and or doing something, or being able to figure something out that way. And then mentioned that we need to see about if there's any possible way of beefing up the nanotech to be a little bit resilient to electricity, because I am highly vulnerable now, even more vulnerable than what you are. You have overload capabilities, yet I do not.
I see. Duly noted. Something to consider then. Interesting. The genetic markers.
So that
Engineered.
means you can't really stand too close to me then.
Oh no, I'm not. That's well, you're not there, but I'd still be able to sit next. I'd be able to be next to you, but you just wouldn't be able to hit me with your best shot, so to speak.
I'll keep that in mind.
And I would let you know that at the earliest convenience. Be like, please, under any circumstances, if you hit me with anything of your caliber of shocking personality, then you could potentially destroy me.
Noted. Maybe we need to get him some like
Rubber boots.
anti-shown armor, maybe.
Well, perhaps. We could see
Oh.
about trying to create the nanites using a different material that's not as conductive, but that would then inhibit their ability to communicate with each other. A workaround would be difficult unless you were willing to wear something that would then negate the danger of being hit with electricity.
Like
Of course.
like a lightning rod, maybe.
Effectively, a type of mesh, but that would then inhibit your ability to change your shape.
Yes, it seems that the immediate solution would be to inhibit me even more. I do not know what would be the best course of action as of right now. But
It is good to know, though.
in the event that something does happen, we would need to, if it did destroy the nanites with a significant charge, I would need to be put on an inhibitor plate to keep me stable once again within a reasonable amount of time. Otherwise, it may prove fatal.
Or we can at least create extra nanites and keep them with us with the program that helped you before to reintroduce them to you as quickly as possible.
And keep them in an insulated container.
Yes.
That may be a better possibility in the short term.
Excellent. I'll see what I can do about recreating those.
if you need more samples, then please, I would be able to give, I could probably just give him a sample of myself right then and be like, here, take some.
Understood. Appreciate it. So then he's gonna just keep making sure that Helios has got what he needs to do his scan for the weird metal.
He does. Processing wise, it's proving a little bit more difficult to recalibrate the satellite and upload that profile to have it scanned currently.
Okay.
Is there anything that my ship might have information on that type of material?
No. Mm-mm.
No? Okay.
Oh yeah. So then after that, he's then going to be like, Helios, while you're processing that, can you access our father's database and pull up anything you can with regard to that material if it's there, and also with regard to automatons known as recorders?
Affirmative. So he finds the first recording of the recorders in the database and tells you that the recorders are robotic sentries left behind on Dexamite conquered worlds to monitor that population. The closest equivalent to them would be a shepherd watching a flock.
Okay.
Babysitters.
Anything with regard to why they might be like taking individuals or sampling people?
Helios indicates that Electrum, I was going to say proselytized, but that's not the right word. It's like, hey, Electrum theorized that they were there to monitor lower class beings to see when they were ready. Whatever they were ready for, he was uncertain. It could be ready for genetic harvesting. It could be ready for some level of enlightenment, for society. He wasn't entirely certain. But there are instances of Electrum having run into them during World War II.
Okay.
That's how he actually came up with this information. He was able to find one and break it down.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
oh yeah, go ahead.
while they're waiting, Carmen will have remembered that there's a swag cabinet for other visitors, and so she'll start pulling out swag bags that can contain like a Quantum Unlimited T-shirt and a hat and like a can cooler, and like one of those stress balls.
Sure.
And also like a pen.
Frisbee.
Yeah, a frisbee, and maybe like a ruler, like a 12-inch ruler. No, what do they give for the small ones? Like a 6-inch ruler?
Yeah. And a fridge magnet.
Right. So all of that stuff she'll pull out and
that says,
hand them
I got
over.
my med scanner at Quantum Unlimited.
I got scanned.
And like
Right.
like an 11 by 14 poster that's rolled up that talks about like it's like a marketing poster for the tech that they're currently selling.
Okay.
She's such a nerd.
So that's what we're doing. She's trying to figure out what size Bitter Shadow would be wearing. So
Yeah. So
She'll
she's
get the right
just kind
size
of like,
t-shirt.
when you hand her the bag, she says, "Gee, thanks." And
No.
she opens up a small portal, puts it in, closes it.
All right, a free swag bag. Nice.
Where'd this come from?
Some random
Yeah.
dimensional being is like,
Ooh,
He's like holding a stress ball.
I feel better.
It's Thanos.
No.
Yeah.
He needs
That's all he
two.
needed.
I know,
He
right?
just needed a stress ball.
He didn't need the 5 stones. He just needed a stress ball.
He needed an outlet. He's like, oh, I feel so much better.
He's like, should I destroy half of the universe? Nah.
He got that in a Snickers bar.
Yeah.
He's not him when he's hungry.
Exactly.
And an extra M&M.
So eventually, I'm going to say probably another 30 minutes later,
Oh, boy.
Helios is able to. Was successful in uploading the software to the satellite.
Okay. All right. Then, all right, Helios, when you can, proceed to scan for that material in our area.
Affirmative. So he, lets the scanning continue. It comes back at this point and indicates that. Oh, speaking of which, I was meaning to mention this at the beginning of the game. We're at New Year's Eve,
Oh.
Oh, okay.
by the
Okay.
way.
Oh,
It's almost 1995.
This
Yeah,
is,
exactly.
Oh,
this
wow.
is New Year's Eve right now?
It is New Year's Eve right now.
all the acquaintance be for da da da. Everyone.
So I'm a jerk for making everybody work on New Year's Eve, apparently.
I mean, I guess it's New Year's Eve day, right?
Correct.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay.
Reduced
so
hours. Reduced.
Is it? Is
any
it New-
any
day,
plans that we have
half day.
later is
so,
open.
Yeah, yeah.
so it's the
Is
30th.
that is? Oh, okay. So that explains a lot more why this lady's dressed up.
That too. Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
There was all.
yeah. She was looking for a
I
date.
thought it was like summertime. Now I have to like blanket the city in snow now in my
So
mind.
it actually locates a strong quote unquote deposit
Mhm.
of that particular type of ore near the Utah-Colorado border in the somewhere around Diamond Mountain.
Okay.
Near Skinwalker Ranch.
How many other
Which,
gnarly
you know,
places can we
kind of
name?
makes kind of sense. It would be there on Skinwalker Ridge,
So
where
he's
all
like,
the UFOs are.
excellent. Diamond Mountain. Well done, Helios. Keep me up to date if you do find any more of those beings or any other of those deposits show up on your scans.
Affirmative. I will keep the satellite within a geosynchronous orbit over Strongford, Colorado.
Excellent. And so then he turns to Shone. Would you mind a quick trip back to the office then?
Oh yeah, we have to make sure you're there for your date.
Uh,
And before he can say anything, she poofs him.
Now
Date!
It's not a.
Yeah.
So you appear back in the office.
And he can finish the sentence.
Date. It's not... Well then. Thank you, sister. If you wanted to go back to your date,
Oh no, he's good.
is everything all right? I'm hopefully I didn't interrupt it or hurt the date.
No, he was happily making out with a cheeseburger.
Ah. Well, unfortunate. But yes. Well then.
2 buns, 2 patties, super
besides-
sauce.
Special
I
sauce.
would miss this for anything.
Well then,
Wait, is she dating the Hamburglar? What's going on?
Robble,
Robble.
The burglar.
No, she's dating Schnitzel from what that
Oh,
cartoon?
Chowder.
Chowder, yeah.
Yeah.
Rada, rada,
Robble.
rada, rada.
okay.
Wonderful.
That explains
All right.
a lot.
So he goes.
Actually, this is actually my favorite.
Yeah. So he goes ahead and heads over to his door, opens it up to see if anybody is waiting outside for him.
Yes. Bitter Shadow
And-
just kind of tapping her heel, sitting down as they're waiting. Pulsar, hard to tell if he's confused or not. He's got a full mask, helmet sort of thing on.
And a baseball cap on top of it.
And
That is on fire.
Carmen looking like she exhausted her ways of entertaining everybody
Right.
over a half hour ago.
Right.
Sean will be peeking around his shoulder with the big grin on her face.
Well, everybody, I apologize for the delay. It took time to actually transmit the data, but we did have a hit. It would seem that there is a significant deposit of that material along the Utah-Colorado border in an area known as Diamond Mountain. I can actually provide you the coordinates if you'd like.
Yes, please. Do you know? I don't know if you could tell. Is it active or is it just a deposit?
Well, based on what we were able to scan, it's simply a large concentration of the material. And given that clearly it's extraterrestrial in origin, a large deposit of that material likely means it is attached to those recorders or perhaps other machines similar to them. Did you plan on going there yourself?
It is part of my mission to take care of these recorders. If you know of anybody who can help, possibly the Legacy, I would not turn down the help, but it is my duty to go and take care of these things.
I see. Before you do that, would you all mind stepping into my office then for a moment?
Thanks, bro.
Sure.
Make sure that everyone can come inside.
Dr. Gauthier comes walking in.
And Carmen will say, do you want me for this too?
You might as well be here. That way you're also in the know of what's happening.
Okay.
Then she comes
So-
in.
yeah. She'll
Closes
step
the
inside
door.
and close the door.
Sweet. Okay. And so then he makes sure to close blinds and stuff so nobody can see in. And then he turns and goes, Pulsar, as you've just mentioned, it would be helpful if the Legacy could join you, and I agree. I have a few questions with regard to your heritage, if you don't mind me asking. I know that might seem out of left field, but trust me that there is a reason why I'm asking, and you'll want to know.
All right. I was gonna make a first date joke, but sure. What do you want to know?
Do you know who your parents are?
I do.
And not to seem offensive or to offend you in any way, were you adopted?
Not that I know of.
I see. Your parents, are they still alive and well?
I honestly don't know.
Might I ask why?
They are currently in Senia. working in the camps.
I see. Sorry to hear that. There are others we know of that have been taken there as well. Others that we would like to save. And by we, I don't necessarily mean Quantum Unlimited. Lightbringer. And he'll literally say Lightbringer to Carmen. And he'll go, Lightbringer, if you're able to grab your medical scanner and quickly do a scan on Pulsar, please.
She'll kind of give him the side eye, like,
How dare you?
and then she'll pop the scanner out of her quantum pocket.
Okay.
Shone's wishing she had a bucket of popcorn.
And she'll aim it at him.
Okay.
Want me to roll?
Bitter Shadow is just kind of snickering. She's all the superhero reveal. Haven't seen this before.
That's reason plus a column shift.
Yes.
So,
Okay. What's after AM?
MN75.
Monstrous, yeah.
what
And then-
are you thinking?
And I got a white feet. Let's see. Do I do not have a reroll.
Oh, you don't? But, actually,
She's like,
Yeah. Unfortunately, Leo Lightbringer's like looking at this and is very confused.
Did I forget to change the batteries?
burp, burp.
So the amount of energy coming off Pulsar right now is causing issues with the scan from the medical scanner.
She turns it around and
Which,
like
speaking of
blows
which,
in
Pulsar, she pulled something out of her pocket that physically should not have been able to fit in her pocket. This was not like a tricorder that could possibly just kind of like sit in a back pocket. Like this device is like,
Oh, okay.
it was like,
and,
it was
and,
like
and
this.
has like a tripod
all of a
that it
sudden-
can sit on.
Like I'm standing here, you look like my regular body, and I just reach in my pocket and pull this out.
Yeah, right. Like, whoa.
So
Okay.
Carmen's gonna hand it over to Mark
All right.
without saying anything.
So then he'll look at that and he'll try to like retune it, and then he'll try to scan.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. And let's see here. Okay.
Need to open up your finger and have it like break down and then like have the little interface wire come out.
You're right. Right. 74 yellow feet.
If you haven't fully creeped everybody out, you're just like, watch this.
Like, what the?
Okay, so you calibrate at this point, like a good Garrus would, and adjust for the amount of energy coming off of Pulsar,
Mhm.
and you do another scan.
And lo and behold,
You
And
pick
look-
up a deviant gene.
Okay. And can we confirm, because it's the one that we have, can we confirm that he is a sibling, that he matches dear old Daddykins?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. He's like, and so it's confirmed.
What is?
that Mari Povich says you are our brother.
The reason why I've been asking
Carmen leans
about
over to look at the readout.
yeah, it's like the reason why I've been asking you about your parentage. It would seem that you may have been misled to a slight degree. I don't doubt that people who were taking care of you, who are acting as your parents, have been taken. But the ones who actually gave birth to you, one of them was Electrum, the superhero.
And Bitter Shadow at that point is just like, wow, he really did get around, didn't he? No wonder you keep that on you.
he like Pulsar kind of cocks a head quizzically at that. It's like, I don't know who this Electrum is, but care to explain how that makes anything any different? I don't know. Both of my parents are in, like I said, they're in Cinia. I don't know who this Electrum is.
So
Are
you've never
you-
heard of Electrum, the superhero?
Are you not from around here?
I'm from Cinia, like I said.
But you are from Earth.
For the most part, yes.
And Bitter Shadow at this point pats on Mark's arm and she says, "Honey, they have a media blackout.
I see.
They don't allow for the regular news to go there for
Obvious reasons. Well then, to explain, Electrum was this world's greatest superhero. He was extraordinarily powerful and very giving with regard to the power he could wield to defend those who needed to be defended.
Also
He-
with his genetics.
As we found, yes, he was also very promiscuous and apparently has had many different mates throughout his life. Several years ago, he disappeared. We don't know exactly why. But since then, we have actually been able to find many of his progeny. You are apparently one of them. And you're standing amongst a few who are also.
Dun dun dun.
And he'll go ahead and he'll drop his human disguise to show that he is an android, first off. So he'll drop that. So you'll see that he is still wearing like clothes, but his hands, his head, his face, clearly a weird futuristic looking android with white glowing eyes.
Well, that explains the weird vibe I got off of you the other day.
Yes, the heat's distributed differently throughout my body than it is a typical biological body. Very good find. I was created by Electrum and another, Dr. Cook, and Miss Miranda here, as he points to Shone, were also daughters of Electrum. There are others. We've come together to form the legacy. A group
this
that
point-
is... Okay.
At this point, Carmen will go ahead and zip into her uniform. Oh,
Yeah, I guess since she's seen everyone else do it, she's going to say, when in Rome, and she'll pop out hers.
Ding. Yeah.
All right.
We came
Uh-huh.
together, managed to find each other, and since then we've been working here from Strongford, trying to determine where Electrum went and what we can do in his absence, since he was the most powerful, most prolific superhero there was. His absence is left a void, so to speak. We're trying to fill that void.
is this getting the reaction that you expected?
I'm gonna say it's. I did a drawing of what he looks like. It's probably pretty difficult to read Pulsar's emotions because his face is kind of weird.
Yeah.
He's only got like essentially like he's got like a mono eye, like kind of like just centered on the head. I
Yeah,
don't
if
know I
anybody's
don't know.
watching the stream, I've got the picture of him right next
Yeah.
to
Okay,
his face.
cool.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think he'll kind of like look around at everybody and just say, "Well, I did come looking for help. I wasn't expecting to find a family. I suppose I'm confused. So you're saying Electrum is I'm somehow related to Electrum?
It's okay. The confusion happens to all of us at first.
How I don't understand how that's possible if I have two deviant parents. Is that passed down from them? That's how this works?
Well, either you are the child of Electrum or you're a grandchild of Electrum. Could that even be possible? A grandchild?
You know, he's been at this for 50 years at least, so
It could be the case.
Because I doubt if one of my actual parents is Electrum, that if that's the case, well then Electrum is for some reason working in Senia and in servitude.
And then
I can't see that happening.
And then Bitter Shadows drops the obvious. She's just like, or honey, one of your parents would lie to you.
Yes, that is, of course, a definite possibility.
And she says, "Oh, sorry, I need to change." And she does like one of these numbers. You see that like a black circle go over her, and she looks completely different right now in her costume, but doesn't look a thing like theirs.
Right? Well, I'll kind of say, well, that's a possibility, I suppose. Is there a reason why you don't match? Are you not part of their group?
She says,
Oh God, no.
she says, "Oh no, I'm very interested in Mark over here."
Yeah, let's not go there. I already had one too
let's
many
we can
disturbing
we can
images.
we can table that one. Um
Is she also
no.
related to Electrum?
Oh no.
Okay, good. All right, that makes it less weird.
No. I fought their father on a number of occasions.
Which really makes it weird.
Okay, yeah, that's a different flavor of weird.
So I wonder if Daddy would approve. He looks at Hyperion.
Well, he's not here. I don't think approval is needed.
Wait, I'm also I don't understand. How did you make this discovery that I'm somehow related to all of you?
He'll take the medical scanner and he'll turn it around and he'll like bring it over to him and show him like data that indicates like amounts of genetics that are a part of dexamites and all that stuff, and he'll just kind of go over that, and then he'll summarize and be like, effectively, this allows us to see down to the genetic level how much of a particular code will match what we already know of. Therefore, markers that indicate that you had Electrum as a father are present. They are abundant. It's unmistakable that you're related to him. Just like we all are, myself being a creation, of course. There are others. I wonder if you're going to be here, would you be willing to accept then our help, seeing as how we have something in common?
Sure. Yeah, the recorders are no joke, so I would appreciate the help. I that's what I'm called to do. I don't know exactly if what all of this means, but in the meantime, yeah, if you're willing to offer a hand, I'm willing to accept it.
Can I ask you a question? How'd you get out of Sinia?
Um, I hijacked a plane.
Oh,
Yeah, it was a long time ago. I was just a kid.
She says, "Oh, domestic terrorist."
Not quite. I was trying to get out, trying to escape and try to find help.
I
How
see.
how did you come upon what you currently have? Did you create that armor? Is that from the institution that's been helping you?
Uh, there is no institution. When when I managed to be found, I was brought over to the American military to kind of figure out what they were going to do with me. They found interest in the fact that a young child could fly a ship even untrained as well as I was able to, so they put me to work. And I've flown in the Air Force, but eventually they moved me over to space exploration. Seems I had a knack for it. And on a trip, I was chosen.
Chosen.
By who?
Just kind of like look down and just kind of gesture. I'm on a mission. I was chosen for this, and uh, the recorders need to be stopped. But I also aim to stop the pain and suffering that's being wrought in Senia. But I'm still kind of new at this, so the recorders are kind of my warm up.
I see. We will help you to find them and determine what's going on. It's been a part of our mission as well as soon as we learned of their existence. Well then. And he looks over to Bitter Shadow. I know you likely did not expect this to happen today, and neither did I. Would you be willing to accompany us?
She says, she like looks around a second. She says, "You want me to go with you and do the thing?"
Well, if you've been
Can you
changing
please
what you
not put it
do,
that vaguely?
Yeah, that would be nice.
So she kind of pauses and looks to Lightbringer, and she's like, "What are you talking about?"
Well, the thing that you're constantly hitting at,
What kind of
which
wingman
wants
are
to
you?
be Hyperion.
She says, "Okay, I've fought off your father on 8 different occasions. I have enough self-control not to attempt to jump your brother right in front of you.
You know what?
If that's what you're getting at."
Let's just move on.
yes. Well, Bitter Shadow, yes. Sorry about my sister's behavior. But
They mean
if
well, and they just wish to see you with a proper suitor, apparently.
uh,
And I'm unworthy. I'm okay with that.
Oh.
I don't consider that to be correct, seeing as
I
how you were
didn't say
instrumental
that.
in saving us.
I didn't say that.
I just said that it was weird.
Well, I of course leave it up to you. I won't force you, Bitter Shadow, but the more help we have, the more successful or the likelier we will succeed.
And I will admit that some of your abilities is kind of cool.
Do we have plans to do like? Are you thinking of doing this like today, or could we pick it up in the morning?
Oh, do you have a date?
I mean, I've been gone for a little while, and it's kind of a big
You and Sledgy
holiday.
kind of missing each other.
Wow.
And she says, "It would seem I'm not the only one romantically inclined."
I'm just saying.
Then
It's
perhaps
New
you should
Year's.
invite your new. Is he a brother? Is he a cousin? Is he a?
Oh, does that mean I can invite Megalith too?
Perhaps you should just have a party together. Since that seems to be what Lightbringer is getting at.
You know, Megalith could be helpful. You know, mega strong, a lot of muscles.
Would be interesting to see him in action
Very interesting.
again.
The more individuals we have with us, the better. But it would then depend, Pulsar. Clearly, you have a specific need to do this, and I respect that. Did you want to do this as quickly as possible, such as now, or wait until tomorrow?
We can assemble the forces.
Were you able to tell from the scan whether or not does it seem to be active? Are they marching? Are they moving?
I will be notified as soon as another one of those recorders makes its appearance above ground by our network that we have. So far, nothing's come up.
If that's the case, I see no reason to rush it if it means that we can assemble a greater force.
Excellent. Then, if that's the case, if you'd like, I can put you up somewhere for the night, or, well, I'll leave it to you. You've been given a plethora of information all of a sudden that I'm sure you didn't expect. A lot to process, especially given your life so far.
Yeah, I'd actually appreciate the help. I'm new in town, so I don't really have much going on in terms of the living situation. So yeah, a night with a bed might be nice.
Excellent. I'll make sure we actually have a luxury suite downtown appropriated for you.
I don't. I'm partially military. I don't need a luxury suite. Just give me a room with a bed and a TV, and I'll be fine.
Noted. Then we will contact you tomorrow. I'll escort everyone down to the lobby and in our civilian clothing, perhaps, and get that arranged for you, Pulsar, so that we'll meet you and be able to head out first thing tomorrow morning.
Uh,
I'll call Megalith, see if he wants to party.
Before we leave, he'll just kind of lower his head a little bit, and then like the helmet piece that he's got will essentially just kind of like fragment like away, so that way he'll reveal his like face to you all for the first time. And kind of put a hand out to shake with Hyperion.
Forgot I was muted. So he has like one eye in the middle of his forehead.
No, he's got a
Oh,
normal.
I'm
He looks like a person from Senia, but he's all like very like military haircut. Probably pretty
saucy
scarred up. Yeah, he looks young, I imagine, or like he's like in his like 20s.
Yeah, early to mid 20s.
I mean, most of us are in our 20s.
Oh, for real? Okay.
Ostensibly.
Well, some of us are in their 800s, but who's counting?
Right.
I mean, most of us look like we're in our 20s.
Exactly.
Also,
Hold on. How are you all related? If you're a sister, but you're 800 years old.
It's complicated.
time moves differently in her place.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm from a different realm.
Out of character. I'm 44 in your Earth years, but I'm 595 in mine.
Do you go based on how old your operating system is, or?
I'm biological.
Okay.
Yeah,
I just have
Mark's Windows 97.
Well, in one day it'll be 98.
Sweet.
So before Pulsar shakes anybody's hand, Bitter Shadow pats Hyperion on the chest and she says, "Sweetheart, he needs a communicator."
That is true. I can actually appropriate one for you, or let's see. Can we just say that Hyperion happens to have like an extra
Sean
one in
will
his
give him
quantum
hers.
department
I
or
was going to say
something, or-
one of you could just give it over, and then
Yeah,
you could
Sean will give him.
get a new
give
one
her-
at the vein.
Yeah.
You know,
That'll work.
So Sean will
Carmen-
hand over hers.
Carmen looks at Chone and just kind of mouths, "Sweetheart."
And she's like, I told you so.
Pulsar, what Shone is handing you is a comm link that we've developed. You can place it in your ear, and you'll be able to hear our communications, whether you speak vocally or even subvocally. All you need to do is indicate who you're trying to communicate with.
So that's what you all have been doing when you just kind of mouth to yourselves.
Correct. Very astute of you.
Yeah,
Oh, is that noticeable?
I thought you all were a little weird, but
Oh,
yeah, that kind of that makes it. Yeah, I feel better now.
Not wrong either there.
I didn't realize that was intelligible.
It's not so much it's intelligible. It's just we were having a conversation and then you look away and just start mouthing things to yourself. Just a little. And the fact that you did it, not you did do exactly that. Looking at Mark, but seeing that same mannerism across two different people was a little off-putting. Wasn't sure if you all were a hive mind or something.
or on the
You are
spectrum.
very observant.
I used to be a pilot. I guess I still am in some ways.
Are you aware of your full range of abilities, by the way?
What do you mean?
According to information that we have, you actually may be able to communicate with plants. Have you ever noticed that before?
What?
I take that as a no.
We possess technology that can also detect for specific powers and what they're capable of. It would seem that you can actually communicate with plants. Have you ever tried? Have you ever heard voices when walking past plants that you couldn't identify where they came from?
No. I just assumed I got skipped over for the deviant gene. But no, I didn't. Not that I can remember, but I've never tried talking to a plant. That'd be a hard thing to test for.
Something to attempt. Perhaps at a potted plant in your hotel room that will appropriate for you.
This isn't going to end up on America's Funniest Home Videos, is it?
So
At that point, Bitter Shadow says, "No, wait," and she just slaps a plant nearby. And she turns and looks at Pulsar to see if he responds.
Did the plant say anything?
No, you don't pick up anything now.
Okay. It wasn't like. Oh God, never mind. I'll keep it to
She's-
myself.
She slaps a plant nearby.
Yep.
Oh,
like,
snap.
Does it
Oh,
say
snap.
ouch?
Oh, snaps it. I thought you said she slapped it.
I thought he
Yeah,
said slap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she like spanked a plant.
Nope.
That's
Just-
that's
just-
what I heard.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he just kind of shrugs.
And so she says, "No, nothing."
Do plants have a lot to say?
Maybe we need to recalibrate.
Perhaps. Something to test for later.
So the glowing, is that just something your suit does, or is that you?
It's everything special about me that you all may have heard or may have seen comes from. It's not a suit. It is part of me, but it's also not me. If that makes sense.
A prosthesis that's been added to you then.
Not. I don't think that's quite how it works. It's I'm
It's
a
a symbiotic entity.
I'm a champion. I think
A champion.
I've like I said, I've been chosen. I'm not sure 100% all of the details, other than I guess I impressed somebody, but uh, I was given this ability, and I've been tasked with defeating these the recorders and beating back, I guess, the Dexamites that they come from. But that's as far as I know.
When did you become this champion?
Jerome, how long has it been? It's not been too terribly long.
A year or less.
Okay, yeah, a year or less. I was supposed to be a pilot on a space mission, and it happened some point during that mission. I don't have a whole lot of. I don't remember a lot of it, but
It's kind of like that star guy with the long hair.
Collapsing star.
Right.
It does sound similar, but he had much more information about his origins than Pulsar does about his. Interesting. Well, we can help you unravel that mystery as well as we go along. I take it then you'll be willing to accept our help.
yeah, it'd be nice to have some people. It'd be nice to have some people to talk to.
Excellent.
And perhaps plants.
Uh,
I mean, we can get you a fern
can-
or
We can cross that bridge when we get there.
what I don't know how talking to a plant would ever be useful.
I can think of a lot of times it could be useful. Like if they've seen something or if they could assist you. I mean, think of like vines snatching somebody off the ground that's running away from you.
Well, yeah, but I can also fly and throw fire. Well, if I have to,
Well, the plants
what's,
probably won't like you burning them.
yeah. Well, I don't think plants see either, so I don't know how reliable they'd be in a witness stand.
Well,
True.
normally we don't use our abilities on a witness stand.
Well, it's more. I mean, I think this thing gives me more, and I'll just kind of like pat the armor. I think this will be more useful than my ability to talk to broccoli. But
But
Understandable.
That's your choice.
I mean, I'll give it a try if you really think it might be useful. But I don't know. I punched through a recorder, and I'm still getting used to that. Like if we're gonna be testing that kind of stuff, I think that like control might be a better place to start than plant talking.
Of course, I simply mentioned it to see if you were aware of that ability or not. Now that you are, something to explore at your leisure. And we can even help you with that if you need. In the meantime, though, get rest. We will as well. I'll make sure that your accommodations suit you. And we will definitely be in touch with you tomorrow, especially through the communicator. You'll hear us loud and clear, and if you hear an entity that calls itself Helios, that is an artificial intelligence program that we have that assists us with our tasks. It will assist you as well.
Okay. Can I ask it questions if I needed to do something?
Absolutely.
Will it recognize me?
And he will out loud say, Hyperion to Helios, can you connect to Shone's communicator and communicate with Pulsar, please?
Affirmative.
I want to have him calibrate a new communicator for me.
I'm wiping hers off on the T-shirt that I got.
I don't have germs.
Hello, I am Helios.
Hello, Helios.
Will you be my friend?
Would you
Do
like
you like
to
some
play a
candy?
game?
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
How can I assist you?
Just making sure that this thing works. I'm going to kind of look at everyone else and go like, hold on a second. I'm going to make the helmet kind of jitterate back on. Helios, can you still hear me?
Affirmative. I am detecting no causality that is interrupting.
Okay, well, that's good to know. I'll kind of make the helmet kind of turn off. I'll go, this thing's pretty fancy. It still works even with the helmet on.
We make our machines well around here.
Hyperion's kind of a genius.
Yeah, you guys need to work on your vending machine, though. Apparently, if you shake it right, it drops 2 M&Ms.
And he kind of turns and kind of gives Lightbringer the side eye.
You told him about that?
Bitter Shadow pops open her bag and just pops one in.
You were supposed to tell him that.
Oh,
You're muted, Brittany.
You're muted.
I was wondering why our
It's-
M&M bill was so high.
It's like 5 times
Maybe
higher than it should be.
It's a feature, not a bug. It's like the cheat codes in Nintendo game.
It's the Konami code for M&Ms.
Up, down, left, right, BA start. All
Yep.
the M&Ms.
It's the M&M code.
I know.
It's like NBA Jam.
Boom, shakalaka. So at that point, Bitter Shadow just says, so speaking of which, he wants to meet people and know people, and tonight is a party. I was mentioning party, not team up. And she looks specifically at Pulsar and she says, do you clean up? Do you have more clothing?
I don't have anything as fancy as what you're wearing. If that's what you're asking, I don't know. Jerome, am I wanted? Am I like are people looking for me?
You are in Senia, but not here.
Okay. All right, cool. I wasn't sure if like my whole situation with like the government and
No.
like the military is like, okay, cool. So I'm not technically AWOL.
No. No, at this point you're done with your service.
Okay, cool. All right. I wasn't sure.
Besides, if you wore a dress with a slit up the side, maybe they wouldn't recognize you.
Like, dang, that guy
I
was hot.
mean,
I still got the,
Like,
got the flames.
Wow,
Look
look
at-
at all the hair.
Yeah.
look at that thigh.
And so she just looks to Hyperion at that point. She says, "Why don't you just organize a New Year's Eve party with the family and I don't know, go get this mega guy and Hammer Man.
We could. Any place you think would be a proper venue for that?
Well, what are you wanting to do? I mean, are you wanting to dance? Are you wanting to just kind of have a quiet atmosphere?
Well, it sounds like Megalith will want to eat.
Definitely
possibility.
drinks should be involved.
Dancing would be good. We can go to, so say, such club,
I
such
mean,
and such.
is there anyone already holding a party that we could
She
just...
says, "Why don't you just have it at your super base? I'm sure you've got
Uh,
one."
We could. It doesn't have to be something fancy.
We don't invite just anyone to the super base.
Yeah, that would be kind of.
Well, clearly I'm not just anybody. You just had your big reveal in front of your new. She says, "I'm sorry. Are you a sibling? Are you a cousin? Are you what are you to all of them?"
You're asking me. I just found out about this.
Okay, so
He's
a
all, "It's my
random
first
family
day."
person in relation to you.
I mean,
Besides, you still have to have your big reveal in front of your other family members, you know, Loop guy and person who got beat up hard.
Xenofreeze and Red Arsenal.
Oh,
Yes.
right. I did not really get a chance to meet Xenofreeze.
He
She was
perfectly
gonna-
all right.
In a bowl.
She's gonna kind of tilt her head aside and kind of look at Bitter Shadows curiously. Have you followed us to the vein?
It has a name. The Vein. Did Electrum name it that? That seems kind of catch.
No, I guess she hasn't been there. I would
No, of
think
course
he
not. I
would
was not
detect
on his
her.
good side.
The vein.
Yeah. We don't usually just have just anybody at our super base. That's
So I
True. However, we could make exceptions, especially to those who we trust. There have been others who have arrived at our base, who we've trusted before. Do we trust Megalith? And do we trust Sledgehammer? I believe we could.
Why don't
I
you just
do,
why don't you just
but-
bring them in and not show them where it's at? That's how teleportation works.
That as well.
she's going to sub-vocalize. Oh, she can't. She don't have her thing.
So she tilts
She's-
her head a little bit and then goes,
Yeah. Hyperion, can I talk to you for a moment?
Uh, Sure.
Sorry,
Certain.
I can't communicate with him, but
Right.
I need to talk to him about something.
All right. Goes ahead and shuffles over to a corner of the room.
Pulsar pulls out some M&Ms.
I don't want to be rude, but she did fight with our father. Do you really think he would want her in the vein? I mean, I know you like
and
her.
she called our brother Gloop.
You know, I get that you like her.
This has nothing to do with feelings I may or may not have. She is a person who went out of her way and saved us.
But I don't know if I could 100% trust her with the vein. She fought with our father. That is that's what people call a red flag. That should be investigated first.
also know
Our
what
father-
you look like.
Our father fought with Reichshield. And how much help have we gotten from him? People can change, Sean.
Yeah, but it takes time to really see that change and trust that change.
True.
I mean,
But-
you're the boss. You know, you're the leader, and if you think that it's okay, I just don't want to say I told you so later. So, just be sure that
Coming
she's
from the pickpocket.
changed.
I understand your trepidation. Believe me. But at the same time, I think we do need to demonstrate mercy and compassion and understanding that others can change their ways if they choose to. I'm willing to
I-
trust her, especially if she doesn't know the exact location of it, which we can simply use your ability to ensure that.
I don't have a problem with that. I just don't want her to have access to anything, which means you're going to have to keep an eye on her. I'm sorry. I don't trust her 100%. I'm sorry. I want to for your sake, but I can't. Not yet. It's going to take time.
No need to be sorry.
I
It's
mean,
completely fine if you are not 100% trustworthy of her. It takes time. But
Yeah.
hopefully, this instance will help to gather that trust more. I assure you, we'll be keeping an eye.
I won't be what they call a bitch about it. So I don't want to make her uncomfortable because I know there's a thing between you two. But I don't want her out of our sight. I just don't want stuff that shouldn't be seen. Is there a way to like lock them out and away from Helios? But you can't with her. She can go through freaking walls.
As they're talking, Bitter Shadow leans into Lightbringer and nudges her, and she says, "Do you think she knows we can hear her?"
Shouldn't because they're talking softly.
Would
You're
you
mute.
like to see the other vending machine?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Does this
Or
one
the
have?
cafeteria?
Wait, you have a cafeteria and a vending machine? I guess.
Yeah,
that
we're pretty
They're
special.
different parts of the building.
Okay, well,
you guys
okay,
have Skittles.
okay.
I think
I
we'll be
trust-
fine, but
I trust
thank
you,
you.
so I'm going to place that trust in you,
Thank you.
and we will see what happens. Okay,
We shall.
I just wanted to, just
You're protective of your brother, and that's cute. Thank you. And then he turns around and starts walking out.
and yep, she'll kind of with a little hop in her step, she'll follow her brother
Okay.
and say, "Well, okay, why don't we meet at?" She'll name a place where she can safely poof them all out. That'll give Lightbringer some time to get a hold of Sledge, and I will get a hold of Megalith and probably his roommates. They're probably going to want to be in on this little shindig as well.
So, with that, Bitter Shadow would recommend the abandoned amusement park in Bearside.
That will work. So I will meet you guys. Do you know where that is, Pulsar?
No, but I'm sure I could find it.
Yeah, it's not
Mhm.
hard to miss. It's just the
I guess I
abandoned.
can't tell him to Google it.
you can actually even ask Helios to guide you there. He'll be
Yeah.
able to locate your position as well.
Yeah, keep in mind we don't have Google yet.
Yeah. We don't have Google.
Yeah.
We don't even have
I have
Linksys
something-
yet.
It's cool. I have a compass.
We have MapQuest.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
No.
No, we don't.
We have AOL. That's about it.
Do we
Okay.
have GeoCities?
Do we have GeoCities? I think so by then.
Yep,
Yeah,
GeoCities was
I mean,
around
yeah.
at that point.
So 9:00.
Sure.
Okay.
Excellent.
That is
I
where
guess-
that's where we're going to go ahead and stop for the night then,
Okay.
and we will pick up the next game for New Year's.
Ooh, we get to dress up.
Are we gonna play through the New Year's Eve party?
We'll probably play through part of it so you can come up with a style, some interaction, and that way Pulsar can meet his other two brothers, siblings, people,
Alleged siblings.
allegedly.
Oh yes, she's poofing Carmen out of there so they can talk and talk and talk and talk.
Yeah,
Spill the tea.
Carmen. So Carmen is mostly at this point. She's like, how do I invite Sledge to this thing without telling him who I am? Like, are we gonna just be in costume? Is this?
Oh,
is
she's
this the
gonna be
day
like
that
shocked,
I tell him
like-
who I am?
Yeah, sure,
You
just
haven't-
be in costume.
You haven't
Yeah.
told him.
No.
I told
I
Megalith.
mean-
Megalith knows who I am.
Well, we met Megalith under different circumstances.
How long have you been dating him?
Do I count the time that I've been in the city or the time total?
Total?
Because we've only been on like 3 dates.
And you haven't introduced him to the family?
Yeah.
Is he a superhero?
And never mind your biological clock.
I want you to marry a nice superhero boy for you.
I guess it's time to let him know. You know, if you're planning on there being more dates.
So,
I mean,
well, that's where we're going to
once
stop.
they know
I'll
your
let you
secret
guys.
identity, you can't put that cat back in the bag.
Right.
So I'll let you guys take that offline if you'd like. So we aren't going to have another superhero game in 2 weeks. Same with Vampire because we have a con to go to. So we will be playing this game again on the Vampire will be on the 7th and the Marvel Superheroes game will be on the 8th. So next week we'll actually have Cyberpunk and Street Fighter, both at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that's Wednesday and Thursday of next week. And then, of course, we'll be off for a bit for the con, which will be coming up on Memorial Day weekend. So thank you guys up for hanging out with us and those of you who did chat a little bit. And we will catch you next time. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Night-night.
Peace.
Woo woo.